Page 42. This is a theme from the first movement from Symphony No. 6, Opus 74 by Tchaikowsky. The symphony has also been known as the Pathetique Symphony. It's a beautiful melody. You can see it, the hands share the melody at the beginning. The trick here is to make it sound like one hand played the whole thing. So you got to balance your hands out so the sounds are okay. And the last measure, the top note, is melody. What you can do if you want is simply play that C with the right hand and just play these notes. So if you do that, you got to play the D with the second finger. You just bring the second finger down. And that works too. There's nothing wrong with it. It's good practice to be able to control which note is louder in a chord. So if you can, but you ought to be able to do any note, like bottom note, middle note, upper note, and still get the notes down at the same time, more or less. Yeah, it's good practice. But the other way is fine too. Second line. Second finger on the D, and then B flat. Now reach up to go on the third line with the right hand. It's an octave. It's between a phrase, so you're going to lift up and move. Lots of B flats. And again, lift up between these phrases, so we get a little silence in the right hand. The left hand's legato. There's no silence there. So here, first the third line. Lift up at the end because it's the end of a phrase. So, you're showing pedal at the end. I disagree. I see no point in adding all these harmonics or all these overtones just for the last note. So I would not use pedal in this piece at all. Just leave it out. If you haven't used it by now, don't bother. Otherwise, you really need to go back and use pedal throughout the piece. So the overtones are all over the place, all over. Well, someone apparently feels it's okay to use the pedal on the last note of a piece. These Noona books are doing that, but I personally disagree with it. Dynamics-wise, there's not a lot going on. You're starting out sort of loud, or sort of soft, excuse me, and then the third line down it gets up to sort of loud for that line, and then back to sort of soft, and then dies away at the end. But as you get to know it, and I would encourage you to go listen to the orchestra play this, and you get an idea of how loud or soft it should be. It's really a beautiful melody. It starts on beat 2 because there's a rest on beat 1. It's almost like a pickup measure. So you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And several of the measures will start on beat 2. If you're having a little bit of a trouble here because it is tricky, look at the last line. Well, let's start with the third line, the last two in the left hand, the last two notes. You have a B flat going to a chord. This can be tricky for people because you're going to connect them, I hope. And you still got to get the notes down at the same time. As the technique I've been teaching here is I use weight when I play. The weight actually pushes the notes down, and I have the B flat down, so the note is the index finger's down and the wrist is down. I played it, and then I raise the wrist, getting ready to play the chord. And as I lower the wrist, I raise the index finger and lower the other notes. So these fingers come down with the wrist, and that finger comes up. So it's here, then raise up and down. And that takes a little practice, but if you'll work on it, it actually gets pretty decent. Then at the end, it's basically the same thing, except instead of just a B flat, you have a G and a B flat, and then going down. But it's the same technique. Instead of one finger, I've got two fingers down, and then I raise the wrist, and as I come down on the wrist, these two fingers go up, and these two fingers come down at the same time. And that's a little tricky. But the weight of the hand is actually pushing the notes down. All I'm doing is wiggling the fingers. That's all. It takes a little practice, but I would encourage you to work on that. Should do it in both hands because you got to be able to do it in either hand. Let's play this slowly. Slow anyway, but let's play it together just to double check the notes and the rhythms, because it does have a bunch of B flats in it, and we want to make sure we're holding these notes down the exact length that we're supposed to if we can. So we'll see. I'll give us 4 counts. So the right hand's here, left hand's here to start. Yeah. 1, 2, ready, go, rest. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 1, 2,